सबको एक एक है मसनूनत का और दूसरी भी तरीक़ की भी Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. So first, inshallah, as I mentioned as a gift to you, this English and Arabic book of Tariq, and also the prophetic Azkar's book will be given so that you can follow, you can read when you are at home this book, but also this as well. So now, inshallah, is not the time to look through it if until I actually mention to you or in your own time. This is for something actually doing. It's not really a reading material. It is something it's a doing material. And inshallah, it's beneficial when you understand, and we are already going through it stage by stage. And it is a gift to you actually, the Masnoon Azkar, so that you can protect yourselves and family and others by reading. And this is when you need to follow the course. Today, inshallah, I'm going to only maybe speak about 1 hour or so, and our Ustaz Yasir is going to demonstrate to you on the screens that how because firstly it was the book only, and now the whole system has been made available online. A new website has been created, so wherever you live, which country ever you are, you can do the same thing which the book does, meaning register and follow the course, and I can communicate with you and guide you through the course and things which are even online, and you can tick even online. You can have a mobile application for on your mobile, Android or actually other one, and also from there. So make it easy for yourself and others to traverse this path. As Shaitan is using technology to get us away from Jannah and get towards hellfire, we should use the same weapon also to actually go near Jannah and attain our goal and purpose and away from hellfire. So inshallah, Brother Ustaz Yasir will demonstrate to you shortly after. And this gift and this thing is included in the saying of Sayyidina Ali Karamallah Wajhul Kareem, when he said that Allah Azzawjal has created the system and Anbiya alayhim salam and provided guidance and facility to support you. This is from the supporting blessing of Allah Azzawjal. And he said, no one can do this for you. No one can do this for you. That is only you have to do it actually. No prophet, no angel, no malak, no wali, no sheikh can actually do. That is the only role you are. Other support is coming on your plate. It's coming like a tray which is the mashayikh have already made and provided and prepared the food. Like you have food for iftari. The brothers, they can do khidmah, they can cook the food and they made it available ready. But if you don't go upstairs or you go upstairs, but you do not actually eat, or actually you will suffer. That role only you have to play, and you have to be serious that because then it goes against the person as well on the Day of Judgment. So as they say, you can take any in countries, Asian countries, they say that you can take a buffalo or a horse to the river bank, but you can't make it drink the water. It has to drink. So nafs is also like that as well. That you can, the mashayikh, Anbiya alayhim salam, and even Allah Azzawajal has actually provided that, and that He can make available for you, but He will not actually make you for, because then it loses the purpose of your existence. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala categorically said in the Quran, Inna Allaha la yughayyiru. Allah will not change your condition until you play that role you want to just. So Allah has also made this clear. Now don't think I'm going to just change you. This is not my sunnah. This is not His actually way. His fazl has no limit, but no one knows who gets His fazl. Because actually, but His way is, Inna Allaha, it is sunnah, is la yughayyiru ma bikum hatta yughayyiru ma bi anfusihim, that He does not change the condition of people until they change what is within themselves, meaning that they should be doing their role. Then Allah Azza wa Jal helps, all kinds of actually help is with you as well. And Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam also said the same thing. He was crying and weeping and begging the people at that time that come towards guidance. If he could have done actually just like that, he wouldn't need to do anything. We would have just made one prayer and people are going in Jannah as such. So he said that the example of me and the ummah is that I am trying to save them from fire. He gave the example of moths, like when the moths and these insects flies sometimes see the light or the flame or the candle, they go and burn themselves. Why? Because they think it's a hole, access to light. They think they are going outside. That's why these flies and moths actually go towards the light. They think it's an access point, they will go somewhere. And when they go, it is fire. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, my example is also of you. It's similar, that you are going towards fire, meaning by doing these bad amal and kufr, and I am dragging you. I am holding you and dragging you from your backs and your clothes, and you are actually letting yourself free from me. By force you are actually going towards there. So now no one can save them. And same case is with us. For us, shaitan shows like the moths and things see light and they see it is a door to going towards light, whilst it's fire. Similarly, shaitan shows all the sins and dunya such light. To us it looks very light, so everyone's going there. But whoever goes there gets burnt, meaning he's destroyed his relationship with Allah Azzawjal. His messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam is destroyed. So do not behave like moths, and actually it's not access. Dunya and shaitan and sins are not, they won't give you freedom or light or peace, but you will be burnt there with actually their heat. It's only a mirage, it's only a deception, as Allah Azzawajal said, وَمَا الْحَيَاةُ الدُّنْيَا إِلَّا مَتَعُ الْغُرُورِ. That life of dunya is not but deception. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Amma ba'd. Yesterday, alhamdulillah, we covered the third stage, but some people, because could not understand it, so I thought I'll just go in little bit more detail. And we mentioned that if a person have jealousy and all these kinds of evil traits, not the good traits, they will actually, that's their state of their heart. So someone asked a question as well yesterday, that how do you get these good qualities and replace the bad ones? And we also mentioned that if you decorate your heart with sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, it's a very enlightened heart. So today I'll just go a little bit of detail, otherwise I didn't intend to go through it. The mashayikh, awliya, sulaha, the wise people said that human being always remain in one or four of these states. It's never you face anything which is out of these four. And when you only face four disease, imagine they are like four disease. If you only face four type of disease and you have four types of cure, then you are safe 100%. There are four seasons. It's like seasons: winter and actually autumn and spring and summer. And if you know how to react when coldness comes, then you need very, very warm clothes. The reaction is stay inside, have fire, warm clothes. When it's hot weather, then fire and warm clothes will harm you. Now you need light clothes, you need air conditioning, you need actually oxygen, you need breeze, etc. Similarly, if it is raining, it's autumn season, you need another reaction. In spring, you need another reaction. In summer, you need another reaction. In spring, you can go out and actually just walk about, and inshallah you can benefit. In summer, if you stay in the heat too much, It's harmful for you. So like there are 4 seasons for our body, there are 4 seasons for our heart as well. Heart also only faces 4 types of season, 4 types of states. States mean a season of the heart. And if you know how to react, to them, then you are safe 100%. Nor hot weather will harm you, nor the cold weather will harm you. But you have to have those clothes and things, what to do when these weathers come. So what are these? If you look at this diagram, one state is called ni'mah. Either you can be in the season of blessings and ni'mah, that you have received any blessings from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or any one blessing or 2 or 3. So either outside when you go, either you will be facing the season of blessings, or musibah, season of affliction. Some problem might come, some difficulty, some person might become awkward with you, some financial loss might become, maybe you fall ill, maybe another problem comes. So these are the 2 seasons, ni'mah and musibah, blessings or problems. That's what people face normally. Either you are in ni'mah or you are in blessing, musibah. So either you face what you feel happy, your nafs feel, or you face what your nafs feels sad, and you actually, it's a problem for you. The other 2 is either you will be in ita'ah, obedience of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or you will be in ma'asiyah, in disobedience of Allah Azzawjal subhanahu wa ta'ala. There is no 5th season. Like we have 4 seasons on the earth, similarly this heart and the inner state of human being also have 4 seasons only. Either you are facing blessings or you are facing problems. Next hour you might be facing blessing again. So all the time these seasons they change continuously. The third one is either you will be doing some good thing, salah, i'tikaf, dhikr, tazkiyah, or you will be involved in evil things, sinning, bad things, kaba'ir and saga'ir and all kind of. So you have understood that these are the 4 states only which a person comes in. Now the question is, you have to, if you want to be safe from them and not suffer any loss, you have to have right reaction. So if it is summer, have the clothes for summer. If it is winter, have the clothes for winter. So if you are in blessings, what should be your reaction? So look at the screen, the reaction should be thankfulness. If you are receiving any ni'mah, then you are thankful, and this will remain a blessing then. Then your life will become a blessing. So for example, you have mal, wealth. Thankfulness is, there are 3 types of thankfulness of 3 things, and then thankfulness becomes complete. One is thanking with firstly thanking with the heart. Thanking with the heart means believing and confessing, admitting that this blessing is from Allah Azzawajal. It's not of mine, I have not created it, Allah has facilitated. This is the thankfulness of the heart. When you believe really that it is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it's not from my doing only. Because if I have done, someone said to a sheikh, you are saying it is from Allah Azzawajal, but I have worked for it. The sheikh said, what have you worked with? How have you worked for it? Yeah, I have worked. Say, the body which you use to work, who has been created that by? The time which you used to work, who created that? You? You brought your own time and own body, then okay, you are fine. But when you use the body given by Allah, you use the time given by Allah, where did you do this work? In the earth or heavens or arsh? Where? Because these all things are, places are created by Allah. You must have another one. Beyond the earth, beyond the heavens, beyond the arsh, beyond the Jannah. Where have you done this work? Hey, I did it in my house. He said, well, I think you were on earth then. You use the place created by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You use the time created by Allah. You use the body created by Allah. You actually use the material which you used in your success or business, whatever. Where did you get it from? When did you create it? I don't know of any material which I have never heard. Is there a new one which Allah did not create, you created? What did you use? Hey, I used some cloth, and he said, well, it seems that I've seen a lot of that. That's been created by Allah. He said, correct your thinking. Even the mind which you use, you said, I have a business idea or I have this. Who created the brain? You created the brain. Moreover, who gave you that idea? You said, I had an idea. Where did idea come from? Why didn't it come before if it was yours? This means that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala helped you, and then you were saying now, it is mine, like Qarun. Like Qarun said when he got wealth, and Musa alayhi salam said, Allah has given you, spend. He said, Innama utituhu ala ilmin indi. I have earned this wealth because of my knowledge, my business skills, my business mind, and my ideas. I am a business person, so that's why. And Allah Azzawjal said, Bal hiya fitna. This is the test. This is fitna, that meaning severe test, that people are given blessings and then they attribute it to themselves rather than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَلَكِنَّ أَكْثَرَهُمْ لَا يَعْلَمُونَ. Majority don't actually know this. They think whatever they've done is their earning. They never think it is actually Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So, there are three elements of shukr. Number one, to believe and attribute that blessing to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from the heart and be happy that Allah has given you. Number two, the shukr with the tongue is to mention that blessing as well to others. Mention Allah has, وَأَمَّا بِنِعْمَةِ رَبِّكَ فَحَدِّثْ. That mentioning that blessing that Allah has. How much we do? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Quran, Ya Bani Israel, azkuru ni'mati allati an'amtu alaykum. O Bani Israel, O people, O son of Yaqub, uzkuru ni'mati allati an'amtu alaykum. That mention, proclaim, celebrate the blessings which I have given you. How many times do we actually mention the blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? But rather, on the contrary, we are only mentioning problems and negative things. Sayyidina Amir Mawiyah radiyallahu ta'ala, one eye was wounded and he could not see. Immediate his reaction was, because they were trained by Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they were Sahaba Ikram. He said, Alhamdulillah, my other eye is safe and my other eye is healthy, I can see, Alhamdulillah. Or you can put hand on the other one and cry, oh, I've lost my eye, what's going to happen? And I've lost it, and I should have it, and this and that, and you can do. So what, on the contrary, what we are doing, complaining, when never mentioning the blessings of Allah Azzawjal, which is with the tongue, the shukr, the second degree of shukr is to mention them now and with brother, Allah has given me this, Allah has given me this, Allah has given me. No, we keep those secrets. No. आप पर अल्लाह पाने बड़ा माल दे, ओ नहीं जी बहुत मैं गरीब बंदा हूँ, I am a poor person just paying about my bills. Sometimes the person becomes like that because of that unthankfulness. Meaning you should, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, if I have given you ni'mah, you should mention. If you have given you health, you should mention it. Even people are not mentioning. That's why we celebrate the greatest blessing of Allah is sending of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And Milad is actually thanking for that blessing. It's nothing else. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam don't benefit from it at all. Like Allah Azzawjal is saying, if I give you a chapati, mention it. You say, Alhamdulillahilladhi at'amana wa saqana. Oh Allah, you have given me a chapati, you have given me a bread, you have given me this drink. Thank you very much, thank you very much. Every time you are saying, every day person should say. And then another person says, you got such a great blessing of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You say, oh, why you are thanking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for that? Oh, why you are praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for that? When Allah is subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that you should even thank for smallest blessing. So people might do wrong things. They might eat haram instead of stealing from someone and eating food or eating haram, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't thank for the food. Similarly, in gatherings of Milad, if someone does wrong things, it's wrong. If they are mixing with people, if they're not praying, if they are dancing, if they are doing, that's the wrong thing. But it doesn't mean thanking for the ni'mah of Rasulullah is wrong. I have known in Saudi Arabia, those people who go in Makkah and Madinatul Munawwarah, people steal there. People do stealing there. People do bad things there. People don't pray there sometimes. People fight there over seats, over hotels, over group. So does that mean that now no one don't go to Umrah? People fight there with the group leaders. I've seen them fighting and quarreling and disputing. Don't go there. It's very, very bad. Don't go there. People steal there, some of them. Does that mean the Umrah or the Hajj that you don't do then? No, it is wrong to do these things, but doing Umrah, Hajj, it is a good thing. Similarly is the blessing. But I mentioned to you that the greatest blessing, Allah subhanahu, because He has never said about any blessing, I have favored you. Only sending of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, He said, لَقَدْ مَنَّ اللَّهُ عَلَى الْمُؤْمِنِينَ إِذْ بَعَثَ فِيهِمْ رَسُولًا مِنْ أَنفُسِهِمْ. That it is I have done a great favor to the believer that I have sent a messenger amongst them. So mentioning Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in Naat, in Nasheed, in Salawat, in Darood and Salam and Milad, that is like you are thanking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that Allah has given you. What is Darood and Salam? Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam does not benefit from it. Allah does not benefit from it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not benefit. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Who benefits from Darood and Salam? Darood and Salam is the expression of thankfulness. You are saying, Ya Allah, I can never thank you for this blessing. It was a blessing, you sent blessings according to your majesty upon Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I can never give anything. I am just admitting my helplessness. So these things are, so thankfulness first is to believe, meaning that blessing is from Allah in the heart. Second, thanking it, mentioning it with the tongue. Mention the mal which Allah has given you. Mention the children. Mention any happy occasion, any blessing. Imam Abdul Wahab Sharani, rahimahullah, this book is about 100 pages. He has written a book 500 pages. So imagine 5 times thicker. It's called Kitabul Minan, Minanul Kubra. In that, what he has mentioned is not a book of like Deen or Masail or Fiqh or Aqidah. He just mentioned that the blessings Allah has given me. And he's listed in it. And it became a 500-page book. Because he said it is thankfulness that actually I should write, I should mention the blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah has given me iman, Allah has given me and the blessings in your body and mind and heart and everything. But when we are unaware, we don't even mention them, then we start only mentioning negative. I don't have that, I don't have that, I don't have that, I don't have that, etc., etc. Then your whole life becomes a disaster. You may say, you become depressed. Even though you are a king, you will still be feeling depressed. And if you do shukr, that's why it's shukr. So second element of shukr is, firstly is from heart, second from the tongue, mentioning it now and then. And the third is the shukr through the organs of the body, that don't disobey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by using that blessing with your organs. So if Allah has given you money, don't use your body to disobey, or actually that mal to disobey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this is like a shukr, they call bil qalb, bil lisan, or bil jawari. Shukr with the heart, shukr with the tongue, and shukr with the. So this is the first state which we go through. Every day we are receiving, we are in blessing most of the time. Neema. So if you do, then what happens? La in shakartum la azidannakum. You will become more and more, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will increase you. Second state which we go through sometimes is problems, is musibah. Some case can be upon you, some other problem, financial, social, medical, psychological, knowledge-wise, spiritual, any problem you can face. And the reaction to that is, what should be, is where it says sabr, patience, because if you practice that, then actually you are also in a blessing. You see, this arrow is pointing that you converted the problem into a blessing by practicing patience. This is such a miraculous thing, sabr, that it changes the problems into a blessing. Because this person had a problem, but he is actually. So, and what does sabr means? Sabr is the opposite of shukr. Sabr means, it doesn't mean you shouldn't be upset. It doesn't mean that you should not cry, you should not weep, you should suffer in silence. Sabr also have three elements. One is in the heart, believing that this musibah has come from Allah due to my own wrongdoing. While shukr is believing that this blessing has come from Allah by His fadl, not of my doing, not because of my action, is sheer fadl of Allah. And sabr is, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَمَا أَصَابَكُم مِّن مُّصِيبَةٍ فَبِمَا كَسَبَتْ أَيْدِيكُمْ. Whatever musibah reaches you, it is because of the earning of your own hand. It's because you have done something. And وَيَعْفُوا عَنْ كَثِيرٍ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, millions your mistakes and sins, I don't even send any result for it, and musibah because of it. I forgive the only 1,000,000% of your wrongdoing I send so that you return. And that's for your benefit as well, so that you, لَعَلَّهُمْ يَرْجِعُونَ, so that you return to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala back, because you've gone astray. So, musibah, there's a purpose, there's goodness in there. And the goodness is, وَلَنَذِيقَنَّهُمْ مِنَ الْعَذَابِ الْأَدْنَى دُونَ الْعَذَابِ الْأَكْبَرِ لَعَلَّهُمْ يَرْجِعُونَ. That Allah sends you small musibahs so that you turn to Him, come back to Him. It's a way of Allah's of saying, oh, where are you going, my servant? Come here. But Allah is not going to speak to you because you are not a Nabi, and no anyone can be a Nabi now. So Allah's way of communicating with you is through musibahs. It's Allah communicating with you. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Quran, Ma asaba. Asaba means the one which reaches. You ask the Arabic people who know Arabic, they will tell you the literal meaning of musibah is something which reaches you. And Allah is saying, Ma asabakum min musibatin. Ma asaba min musibat. in fil ardi illa bi iznillah. It comes with permission of Allah, it comes from Allah due to your own wrongdoing, but it has come from Allah to give you a lesson, to be compassionate with you, that this servant is not listening with blessings, let's call him with some musibahs. If a student is not studying because of a carrot, then a stick is used that's a blessing as well. That's a blessing as well. So, musibah, the first is that you believe in the heart that it is from Allah, a message from Allah. Musibah is a message from Allah. See it like this. It is a message from Allah. It's a hidden message of Allah. And it has come due to your wrongdoing. You've done something wrong, that is why it has come. And the message is, my servant, correct your mistake, come back. Why have you done it? I have not created you for that. It's way of Allah communicating with you, because it's a blessing. When a person mentions the name of Allah, attributes to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it's mentioned in the books that Musa alayhi salam did dua against Pharaoh. Ya Allah, confiscate his wealth, destroy him, finish him. But no big azab of destruction. Small azab came, Allah was merciful with Pharaoh even. Little azabs came and he was not punished in the house. And Musa alayhi salam did dua, Ya Allah, destroy his house and thing and wealth and here. But he didn't. And he asked, Ya Allah, I have done dua, but he is not. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that at the door of his house, outside the door, this was written the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Sayyida Asiya wrote, or whoever, it was written Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that until this name is written, Bismillah is written outside his door, I am not going to destroy him. That's why Allah destroyed him in the sea, not in his house. Itna ye Allah ka naam, Allah's sifat, and this Bismillah ki itni badi fazilat hai कि अल्लाह जल्ल जलालुहु फ़िरौन को भी तबाह घर में नहीं किया कि बाहर बिस्मिल्लाह लिखी हुई है, वो फिर दरिया में जाके डुबोया कि वहाँ जो है. तो ये तो आखिरत में, and this dunya, even we do not know why things are happening sometimes, and due to the blessings actually and the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But anyway, Allah Azzawjal forgives most of them anyway, and because of some of wrongdoings, He sends message back. That message then takes the form of musibah, any difficulty, any illness, any loss. So sabr means first actually believe in the heart it is a message from Allah and it has come due to I have done something wrong, so I should do introspection. Second thing is with the tongue what to say. With the tongue admit that I have done even much more wrong, and inna lillahi wa inna, this thing was of Allah, it belonged to Allah, my health, my wealth, and it's not a big deal. Who owned it took it back. Only I had leased or actually had borrowed it. It was His blessing and fadl that He let me borrow it for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 10 years, 15 years. It was not yours in the first place. So with the tongue, not to say anything against Allah, why Allah is doing this to me, what I have done. Some people say, I don't know what I have done, what I am going through. Every step of ours is sin. As Professor Muhammad was saying the other day, the worse you are, the less you feel. The more sinner you are, the more heinous criminal you are, the less you feel. You know, it's okay. I've just killed 10 people, not 20. So you also feel good about it. I've just looted 9 people, not 17, for example. So you have your own way of feeling good. And the more better you are, and the more best you are, the less you feel. the less you feel. Look at the Anbiya and Awliya. They are the highest and they are saying, Rabbana zalamna anfusana, la ilaha illa anta subhanaka inni kuntu minaz zalimeen. They are saying, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is saying, I do astaghfar 70 times or 100 times a day. Not from sin, but actually according to his level, reaching higher levels. So similarly, awliya Allah, you ask them, they feel that they are lost. They are actually, you may say, are not fulfilling the right of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Animals are better than them. Sayyidina Abu Bakr Siddiq is saying, this bird is better than me. I wish I was just a hair on a pious man's body. Sometimes he would pick up a dry leaf, he would say, I wish I was this dry leaf. So the more better you are and good you are and closer to Allah, that you feel that you are less, you are doing less, you are worse, you are not good servant, and etc. etc. And the more evil you are, the less you will feel. So sabr means actually one thing, as I said, to do it with the heart. Second is to say with the tongue what pleases Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It belongs to Allah. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Allahumma ajirni fi musibati wa akhlif li khayrin minha. Something like that, or whatever is lawful. Not to disobey. And third thing, with the body, sabr means not to, because of that problem have come, not to use your body and do something wrong and sinful because of under pressure. Because in musibah, people under pressure, they said, oh, just do it now. It's just a matter of, urgency. So due to pressure, sometimes people when they are in problems, in difficulty, they do zulm, they do wrong people, they will fight with people, they will be angry, they will loot people, they will lie. So sabr means stopping the body from disobeying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now these three things are sabr, and what we have made sabr, if someone is crying, oh brother, don't cry, do sabr. Now that was not sabr. If crying is, not crying is sabr, then Hazrat Yaqub alayhi salam wept so much that his eyes, actually he lost his eyes for the missing of Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salam. وَبْيَضَّتْ عَيْنَاهُ, that his eyes became white, meaning actually he could not see. And Allah, on the other hand, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, فَصَبْرٌ جَمِيلٌ, that he did the best of the sabr. So according to our standard, Na'uz billah, Yaqub alayhi salam was not that, oh Nabi Allah, why you are crying for 1 day, 2 days, 10, 20, 30 years you are crying. You should do sabr if it was our standard. But he said, فَصَبْرٌ جَمِيلٌ, I am going to actually do the best kind of, not normal sabr, Anbiya are sabir anyway, but he said the best kind of patience I am going to practice. So crying, being upset, missing someone, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam wept and cried for his son when he died, for his ummah, or if you would see anyone in hellfire in punishment. So that's not again. Sabr means not to disobey Allah. Sabr literally means to stop. Stopping from what? Stopping from the heart, attributing that musibah, why Allah has done this to me, or people have done, I have not done anything. That is against sabr. Or to say with the tongue something which is not correct, which is sinful, or to do with the body something which is sinful. So this is like opposite to the shukr, you may say, or the sabr and shukr, they are two things. So when there is musibah, you practice patience. And now you know patience. And this you cannot learn from books from easily. I learned from my mashayikh and awliya, sulaha, which I have not learned it from books. By a book, sabr kya. If you maybe the whole book on sabr, and you read and you can never understand what sabr is. Because books are supposed to help. This book, some of it I have written, but I would say that no one can benefit until I tell them how to, explain them how to benefit from the book. Similarly, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent a book which is His kalam, kalamullah, but He said no one can understand it until my messenger explains. what I mean by it. This is the beauty of Quran. Previous books were called Kitabullah, books of Allah. They were not Kalamullah. This is only speciality of Quran, that it is words, are literally every word is Kalam of Allah, word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So that's why you will find the previous, yes, Torah is the book of Allah, Injil is the Kitabullah, but not literally Kalamullah. Kalamullah is only Quran. This is speciality of Quran. That's why they have been changed now. Actually, Kalamullah is actually there. So that was actually given. So it can be, it is like the other books are like, you may say, Hadith Qudsi. They are from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They are Kitabullah. Injil is Kitabullah. Zabur is Kitabullah. But Kalamullah, in the literal sense, is actually Quran. This is speciality of Quran. Ye Quran Majid ki khubi hai. That it is Kitabullah as well, it is sayings of Allah, and it is Kalamullah as well. And other books which were revealed on the prophets, they were like Hadith Qudsi, they were books of Allah, sayings of Allah, but in the words of the prophet or the angel, however. So now you understood that two situations you can face, either blessing or musibah, what you should do. Third is, if you are doing obedience, any good deed, the right reaction is to be more humble, to go more lower, and considering oneself actually that I have not been able to fulfill the rights of Allah as I should have. Ibadah should create abdiyah. What is that kind of ibadah which is resulting in takabbur? You see, ibadah and abdiyah are same, from the same root. So ibadah's reaction should be abdiyah. And if ibadah's reaction is takabbur, then you are doing something else. You are not doing ibadah. Shaitan did this kind of ibadah, it created kibr in him. That's why Shaykh Ahmad ibn Ata'ullah Sikandari rahmahullah, he said that any sin which results in bringing you closer to Allah, to tawbah and feeling lowly, from result point of view, that sin is better than that good deed in which result you will feel arrogant and proud and good actually. Better than that is that sin actually which has happened. That is why sins have sins are wrong, but you can still get benefit of tawadu from them, your helplessness, your actually lowliness, your weakness, you can see them positively. That's why although Anbiya alayhimus salam are sinless, but Allah creates such a condition for them that they feel they are sinful and they feel they have done wrong, and because that has a certain benefits, that it brings them more closer to them. Although the prophets are actually ma'asum, they don't commit sin, but outwardly they think sometimes that they have fallen short of the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So ibadah, if you look at the screen, should have the result, humbleness, humility should come in you. And disobedience, ma'asiyah, the sinfulness. If you fall in sin, what should be the result? Reaction, the reaction should be tawbah and astaghfar. And then that becomes a blessing. That sin is converted into blessing. Because sometimes really that sin is converted into a virtue because of tawbah and ikhlas and istighfar. It's actually literally فَأُولَٰئِكَ يُبَدِّلُ اللَّهُ سَيِّئَاتِهِمْ حَسَنَاتٍ, that Allah changes the bad deed into good deeds. So the right reaction actually makes even the sin a blessing, or sometimes it changes into virtue, but a proper tawbah and astaghfar. Don't let the sin bring negative reaction. Oh, I am evil, I'm not going to, never going to be right, I would never be forgiven, Allah will not forgive me, etc., etc. This is wrong reaction. After sin, reaction is, yes, Allah can forgive me, Allah is merciful, I will do tawbah. In Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam time, one person came, he said, I am destroyed, I am finished. Like sometimes our people, oh, I've lost it, I've made a mess out of my life. He said this 3 times. Ya Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, I have made everything, done everything wrong, a failure completely. My sin have destroyed me. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam taught him a dua. He said, say, oh Allah, your mercy is more than my sins, and more than my amal, I rely on your mercy. He said, just say this to that person. Ya Allah, your rahmah is more vast than my sins, and I hope more from your mercy than my good deeds. I'm not relying on them. So Rasulullah say this. He said this once. Short, very short dua in Arabic. Rasulullah said, say this again. He said this again. He said, say this again. He said 3 times. Then the Prophet said, get up and go away, you are forgiven. This is the right reaction to. And if you are just letting the sins hold you, it's as though you finish, the day of judgment has happened and you are in hellfire already. Don't react like that. Because that's what Rasulullah removed from him. He said that don't let this sin actually hold you. Now get up and go if you're forgiven. This is, for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is no problem when you come with the right reaction. Don't rely on your deeds, hope in the mercy of Allah. And if you have something that happened, know that Allah's mercy is millions times, billions times, infinitely more, actually. And He can forgive you. But do come to Allah, do turn to Allah. Tawbah means, do turn to Allah. Don't sit in the lap of shaitan. When you are sinning, you done bad thing, and when you don't do tawbah, you are sitting in the lap of shaitan. You are becoming his baby. So don't sit in the lap of shaitan after doing something shaitanic. Go and sit in the lap of the rahmah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and call Allah. Like a baby comes to the mother and actually calls for the mercy of the mother, and the mother have compassion. But if the baby is not coming, is somewhere else, it's a different matter. Going to them. So इसलिए नाउमीदी नहीं at all. That's why I say we have 99.99% of chance going to Jannah, and only 0.1% going to hell, provided we use the facilities, we use the blessing, the tools which Allah has given us, and at least. So these are the 4 reactions. Now if you look at this diagram, look here, it is mixed sin, obedience, ni'mah, musibah. But what's in the outer circle? Only blessings. Because when you have right reaction, وَمَنْ يَعْمَلْ مِنَ الصَّالِحَاتِ مِنْ ذَكَرٍ أُنْثَىٰ وَهُوَ مُؤْمِنٌ. And in other words, فَلَنُحْيِيَنَّهُ حَيَاةً طَيِّبًا. You have the hayatan tayyiba. You are really living a life of blessing. It doesn't matter what's happening. You are sinning, still you are in blessing. You are doing obedience, still you are in blessing. You are in musibah, still you are in ni'mah. You are in blessing, still you are in blessings. This is, mashallah, teaching of the Shazali of Shaykh Abdul Aziz Dabbagh, Rahmahullah, Shaykh Ahmad ibn Ta'ullah Sikandari, and Shaykh Abu al-Abbas al-Mursi especially mentioned this. Because Shaykh Ahmad ibn Ta'ullah Sikandari, he was not a Sufi, he was a scholar. He was scholar of Maliki fiqh, very big scholar, very big. So much big scholar that he is the one once who had a discussion with Imam Ahmad ibn Taymiyyah, who actually was a scholar of that time, but who had some differences, views about actually tazkiyah. He believed in tasawwuf, he believed in Sayyidina Abdul Qadir Jilani, but he had some reservations in other matters. Shaykh Ahmad ibn Ta'ullah Sikandari was such a person at that caliber that they had a discussion and he could not answer Shaykh Ahmad ibn Ta'ullah Sikandari what he said, because that their discussion is noted in books. Itne bade scholar the, but he was not say, he's saying, I have knowledge now, I don't need anyone. So he visited Shaykh Abul Abbas al-Mursi once and he heard Shaykh Abul Abbas al-Mursi saying this, and this impressed him very much. He said, it's as though he has actually covered all the states of human being. What type of man this is, what type of wisdom he has. He has covered all human states into 4 categories and mentioned the 4 reactions. What kind of understanding and depth of knowledge and wisdom he has. So this brought him to his actually tarbiyah, and then he became his actually successor and became a greater wali than actually before as well. So this is also teaching the blessing of these mashayikh and awliya and their understanding. So now look at the next screen here. There are different levels of ikhlas. The more ikhlas is in your deed, the higher the closeness of Allah Azzawjal you would get. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, my sahabi, if he spends a handful of grains in the way of Allah Azzawajal, like barley or the reward of it is more than if another person who is not a sahabi, maybe he's a tabi'i or who is a wali, but he's not sahabi, if he spends a whole mountain of gold in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the reward is not. Because of the ikhlas and yaqeen the sahabas had. Although mountain of gold and just actually one handful of grains is nothing, it's not comparable, but the ikhlas makes it actually the difference. That how much actually, and here in, so higher level of ikhlas mean higher level of qurb. So here in the tariq, we teach, we don't say people to only know the mashayikh say like this, have ikhlas, have ikhlas, have ikhlas, but they don't. For example, if you are not taught how to have ikhlas, how to go to level, you will never achieve. So, for example, level 1, a person is taught that whenever you do major deeds, at least in the beginning, middle and end, refresh your intention to make sure that you are doing with ikhlas, meaning actually for the reward in the hereafter. This is level 1 only. Level 2 of ikhlas, that now this person he's doing for akhirah, but when performing your amal, they should be done only for the pleasure of Allah. One should not follow their feelings. Sometimes you'll feel like doing good amals, but sometimes you will feel down and not inclined to them. Both approaches are incorrect, because we are not the servants, slaves of feelings and states, but we are servants of Allah. So one should worship Allah for His pleasure, whether one feels like it or not. So not having ikhlas sometimes have this effect that people stop worshipping, stop doing good deeds. They say, we don't feel like, I don't feel that urge, I don't feel that passion. Well, this passion, this urge, this heart is not your God. It's not your ma'bud. Your ma'bud is Allah Azzawajal, and He is still there. Your passion might not be there, your good feeling might not be there, your motivation might not be there, but Allah Azzawajal is there. So a person is in level 2, he practices this for 30 to 90 days, then it comes. It's not simple as I tell you and it will come. Nothing will come. Now I'm not going to go in detail of other levels. There are 7 levels, as you can see. It's not our topic. But that sheet you must see, that's how the person practices. Level 1, then he goes 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. Once he has done no crosses, then he moves to level 2. Then he moves to level 3. As he moves upwards, then even he does less ibadah, he is more closer to Allah Azzawjal subhanahu wa ta'ala. So he can free himself physically from big mujahada, because whatever he's doing with ikhlas, higher level of ikhlas. So this is how ikhlas come, how tarbiyah. Ikhlas does not come with giving lectures on ikhlas, giving lectures on sincerity, giving speeches or writing books or reading books. Yes, information about ikhlas can come from lectures, seminars, from books. Ikhlas will only come with tarbiyah from the shaykh or the teacher, or one tries himself as well. Similarly, now look at the next one. Levels of humbleness. If you want tawadu, which is ikhlas was the reaction to ibadah. Don't forget those 4 stages. Ikhlas was the reaction to ibadah. And humbleness also is reaction to ibadah when you worship. So if you have humility, humbleness, the more higher level of humbleness you will have, the more closeness of Allah you will have. As I mentioned that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when at the reaching the pinnacle and climax of Mi'raj and saying, Ya Allah, I want you to say, I am your abd. And that is true. Only me saying that will not make much difference. It's like you want to marry someone and you say, yeah, I am ready, I am ready, I am ready. Until the next person also says, yes, she is my wife or he is my husband, nothing is going to happen. Nikah is not going to happen. It's two-way thing actually. That you are saying, you are my Lord, and Allah also accepts you as a servant. It's no good that you are saying, but not doing then good, not sincere, then Allah will not accept you as a servant. That's why in the Quran you find, we think it's a normal thing, but it's a very big thing. One of the favorite verses of Sayyidina Abdul Qadir Jilani. One of his favorite verses, he said, I like this verse very much. Ya ayyatuhan nafsul mutma'inna. When someone is pious and righteous, Angel Israel comes, or Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Angel Israel or Malakul Maut, or angels come and they say, oh satisfied, oh serene, oh purified soul, irji'i ila rabbik, return to your Lord now. Radiyatam mardiyah, pleased, he is pleased with you, you are pleased with him. And then it comes from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, fadkhuli fi ibadi, I have accepted him as my servant, enter him in the circle of my servant. Before that abdiyah special was not there. We think it's already granted. That is not. Everything is abd of Allah, worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in heaven and earth, but that is not meaning that Allah has accepted them as abd, or Allah has accepted them. So, fadkhuli fi ibadi, enter my now pious and the righteous servants in the circle of them. Wadkhuli jannati, and then enter the Jannah of mine. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, here is a special saying. It's not, Allah didn't say wadkhul il Jannah. Wadkhulil Jannah. He said wadkhuli jannati. This is a special Jannah Allah is referring, where Allah, there will be no palaces, no hoods, no fruits, only the tajalliyat and ziyarah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which is the highest level of Jannah, which is the crown of Jannah, is Jannatul Firdaus, and jewel of Jannatul Firdaus is Darus Salam, the highest level in which where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ziyarah happens. So fadkhulu fi ibadi, enter my servant, and wadkhuli jannati, my Jannah. Allah's Jannah is different. There is your Jannah, there are many types of Jannah, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, person who is purified, he will enter Allah's Jannah. Who is not purified, he will go also, but he will go in other Jannah. Because Muslim, if he die with Iman, there is a great actually virtue that he will one day go in Jannah, no matter what. So humbleness, humility. Again, it has level. To think and believe other Muslims are better than you and not to consider them lowly or inferior. So you practice this for 90 days. That's why in this book, these sheets are given, the one which is given to you. All these sheets, these levels are there. that you can actually then when you will practice, because so that they are there. So level 3, we can't go into detail. Level 4, 5, 6. Imagine there are 10 levels of tawadu. After 30 days, meaning practicing these 10 levels for 30 days each or 90 days, then the tawadu and humbleness goes to a very higher level of you. Not reading books and hearing and things, oh brother, you should be humble, humbleness is good. You shouldn't be arrogant. It doesn't happen like this. It's just like saying to a person, you have disease, you have AIDS, you have cancer, you have any other, sugar, oh, you shouldn't have this, not good. You should be, you cured from it, it's not good to have these disease. Nothing is going to change. If that person says, yeah, I shouldn't have them, they are very bad, the disease is not going to go away until he goes through the treatment from the doctor and the medicine he uses, then it's going to go away. Similarly, kibr, all these things are disease actually, and they are not just going to away with good talk and good lectures and seminars and things. So that's why Rasulullah ﷺ didn't deliver so many lectures and things. He was doing short, and his whole life was a lecture and actually tarbiyah. Not big. We have big conferences for many, many days. Scholars are coming. The Sahaba Ikram never had like this. Once a week they did 20 minutes, half an hour, 40 minutes nasiha. But as I say, because they didn't make any difference between ilm and amal, so for them even 2 sentences were enough. And if you are making difference between ilm and amal, whole of the Quran doesn't make any difference to you. That is the difference. So so I have mentioned today in little bit of detail, so because I've skipped yesterday, because I thought it's in the book and you know it as well, some of you. But now you know this. That's how then there is shukr as well, which is the stages of shukr, 7 levels of shukr, which are in this book as well. The sheet of shukr, the 7 levels of shukr, then of sabr. So all reaction to those 4. Once you have that, alhamdulillah, this is sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Or to have these all traits is sunnah of the Prophet alaihi wasallam. He was sabir, he was shakir, and he had all these qualities. So it's your heart also then have that sunnah. These are sunnahs. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said to one of his companions and khadim, Hazrat Anas radiallahu anhu, "Oh Anas, it is my sunnah not to keep hatred of someone. Try to spend night whilst your heart is free from actually hatred." So sunnah is the inner sunnah as well. So if you do not have sunnah, then and there's pride, or your pride, for, as I said, that is dangerous as well. Shaitan can come both ways. Once he makes you sinful and away from Allah, sometimes he makes you pious, for example, outwardly, and inwardly then you are proud, then again you get the same result. You are away from Allah. Now we come to the next new slide, which we have mentioned. The food house में देखें, खाना भी तो चाहिए ना. Furniture है, खाना ही कोई नहीं. There is no food to eat. What will that house be? What kind of house will that be? So firstly, in order to safeguard yourself from the cold of dunya and terrestrial climate, you need to secure your priceless jewel inside the house of closeness of Allah Azzawjal. What does the food inside the house represent? So in house, because of walls, windows, furniture, decoration, painting, you need food as well. The food inside the house of closeness represents good deeds with sincerity, ikhlas. The greater the good deeds, the higher in its quality, nourishment and taste which will feed your house of closeness. So, like I have just shown you, the higher level of ikhlas, higher level of. So if your good deeds are of have sincerity, then imagine the nutrition. The good deeds are like fruits and all these dishes. This means the higher nourishment they will have. If there is food but it doesn't have nutrition in it, it's like a fake fruit. Ikhlas, when a person doesn't have ikhlas, it's like sometimes people have in their houses artificial fruit. So a big bucket and basket of fruit, but it is artificial. It looks very nice, but it can't actually feed you when you are hungry. It can't save your life. Similarly, without sincerity, meaning now you are doing good deeds, but not for Allah Azzawjal. To other people you look good, the food looks good. But when it can't save your iman, it can't save you from hellfire, it can't save and make you enter Jannah. So if you want the greater the good deeds, the higher in its quality of ikhlas, nourishment and taste which will feed your house of closeness. So in the house you need feed, and it means good deed like amale salihah, salah, other amale salihah, the good deeds which you do, zikr, Quran, recitation. That's why Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, like the Hafiz Ramzan Sahib yesterday was saying after Taraweeh, that he alayhi salam said, when you walk beside or through the gardens of Jannah, take your share. Sahaba Ikram said, Ya Rasulullah, we are here. How will we be in Jannah? How can we walk in the gardens of Jannah? And Rasulullah said, they are hilaqul zikr, the majalis of zikr. The majalis of zikr, nasiha, they are the, meaning, because actually they become the fruits of Jannah. Like you say Subhanallah, it becomes a tree in Jannah. You say other zikr, so they have direct relationship, amali salihah, with the fruits and hoors and palaces of Jannah. You make them from here. Sayyidina Abdul Aziz Dabbagh, rahmahullah, he used to say, because he was a person of insight, fath, and he said that when someone does good deed, I can see immediate effect in his Jannah, something is made there. And if someone does bad deed, I can see the azab which is created because of his bad deed in his hell and in his place. So the immediate effects, like a light switch, you press it, light comes on. You press it, light comes off. So good deed, bad deed, it's affecting. It's like you are making your own hell or paradise even now. With every movement, it is made or not. So this is the reality. That's why Rasulullah explained it in different way. So the greater the good deed, the higher in its quality, nourishment and taste which you will feed your house of closeness. Now on the other hand, some people are empty of food inside the house. They have no food inside the house of closeness. Some have no food, so obviously some people say, I have, for example, walls and things, but there's no food. They are eventually going to die. They're eventually going to become weak or sick. So similarly, person who have aqidah, fiqh, tawbah, and they have purification of body, mind, but they are not doing good deeds, it means their iman actually is not nourished. So their iman will be weak. Whereas others have allowed their food to become rotten by committing deeds which they have done for their own benefit and gain. So if you do even good deed to benefit only worldly benefit for fame and name and all these things, they have attracted the animals of shaitan, who will no doubt enter inside the house of closeness, eating away their entire possession. So their situation will be like this, that it's all eaten. They had good deeds, but the shayateen and animal, he is the thief of good deeds and the thief, robber to rob iman. So they take it away or spoil it. Some people don't have anything, they're empty. So when there's need, they will suffer, they won't be able to actually, you may say, be successful. And some, they actually do good deed, but not with sincerity or for personal gain and benefit. So they have good fruits and things, but they destroy. They do a praying, they are doing sadaqah, they are doing all these things, actually, and they are not. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned good deeds, like I was mentioning, helping the creation is the greatest act, one of the greatest acts. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala becomes happy, feeding someone, becoming but saving people from hellfire is the greatest compassion which you can do. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said in one of the hadiths that if someone wants to be my neighbor, there is one way. He mentioned the fadila of orphans, yateems. He said that any woman whose husband dies, now she only have yateem children, and she looks after them, safeguards herself and looks after, she has no really purpose to live now except looking after the yateem. He said, yes, Ali, Sayyidina Ali radiallahu anhu, he will be my neighbor on the day of in the Jannah. But this woman and me also will be so closer. He showed his blessed two fingers in Jannah as well, in Akhirah. Why? She looks after the yateens and saving them from difficulty. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Quran, وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا الْعَقَبَةِ. What do you know about the great Aqaba? Aqaba means like there's a big mountain or obstacle in front of you. What is the great thing which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants you to do and is causing you, stopping you from any good deed as such? He said, فَكُّ رَقَبَ أَوْ إِطْعَامٌ فِي يَوْمٍ ذِي مَسْغَبَ يَتِيمًا ذَا مَقْرَبَ أَوْ مِسْكِينًا. That freeing someone from debt, from slavery, feeding, looking after yateem and things. As I mentioned that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam himself was yateem, and he mentioned the feelings he had and how the yateem thinks about themselves. You can never know what they go through. Only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that's why he emphasized so much. Charity people are doing, yesterday they did. If they're doing it for sincerity, they will get reward. If they're not doing it, they might feed so many, but they actually will be punished rather. But it is the greatest act. And today I did have just a 2-minute clip, which whether Wasim will play for you, just to see it with just only 2 minutes, but you can get an idea that how the a yateem person feels, and if someone helps them, how much Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will become happy to remove that. And then we finish for today. And so I'm not showing you that aap abhi charity de, just actually it's part of the course, meaning that to make you aware that compassion upon creation is one of the objectives of Tariqa Muhammadiyah, as actually it is to do be with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So it is short clip, so listen and look carefully and think. Otherwise it will just pass and you will. This is just before.
Assalamu alaikum.
This is someone interviewing from wherever they are, from Afghanistan or people from here. They have gone. A yateem person, this boy, which we were seeing, his father has died. Now his mother is there, and obviously we find work here to do hard. There he is selling water bringing here, then there, and the feelings of a yateem, how they feel, that's been shown. Yes, I was saying.
الله جان چی کار میکنی تو؟
فروشی میکنم.
پدرت زنده است؟
نه فوت کرد.
پدرت وفات کرده؟ چقدر وقت میشه وفات کرده؟
5 سال میشه.
چی کرده بود؟ چطور وفات کرد پدرت؟
به اعصاب شد خراب، اعصابش خراب شد تو وفات کرد.
خب تکلیف روانی پیدا کرد وفات کرد. حالا چند برادر هستین خدیجه؟
یک برادر است و 5 تا خورده.
خب برادر دیگه تصدیق کرده برای کلونس خورد جان کاکا؟
پدرم دیگه خلاص.
امتحانات خود هستی؟
بله.
خودت وقتی که پدرت وفات کرد یادت میاد 5 سال پیش دیگه تو تقریبا 4 ساله بودی یادت میاد که پدرت یاد میاد؟
بله.
چطور آدم بود پدرت؟ مهربان بود؟
بسیار خوب آدم بود. بله.
اگر پدرت زنده می بود تو فکر میکردی کار میکردی یا؟
نه.
چی میکردی اگر پدرت زنده می بود؟ میخواستی مکتب بری بچه؟
بله.
زیاد خسته کردی تو کار؟ شمکای تو چرا جنگ کردی؟
نه فوتبال کردم تا سوتری آورشت.
هر دو چشمک تاور شد؟
نه ای توسی رازی شد تاور.
خب خیر از بچیم هست یالت هست خودت از رحمت که خود جان کاکو؟
بله.
مکتب میخوایی بری مکتب؟
بله.
خیر نمیتونی؟
نه باز خودرس.
خیر بچیم خیر است یالت هست روزگار است خیر است بچیم.
So, meaning this is just one glimpse, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala really knows how people feel, yateems feel, and things which other people cannot know. So, that is why the shafaqa al khalq, the compassion upon creation, making anyone happy, because you never know what women are going through, what their hearts are going through, how many desires and wishes and things they have just in their heart, and they just remain there, they can't even mention. So someone really sincerely for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's pleasure, and this is a great opportunity to help, meaning get pleasure or mercy of Allah when you do it for Allah Azzawjal's sake, and respect and honor them, even one or two, or just have a wish at least, or you may say intention, because we can never know what their hearts go through, except someone, and their people are suffering from different points of view. So ye hai shafqat al khalq, that's why this great status, because other people, they become naive, they don't know what's happening, and things are just taken as granted. And so this part of Tariqa Muhammadiyya is one part, as I say, shafaqa al khalq, shafaqa al khalq, for saving people from hellfire, that's very highest level, and also this. So that's why Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to very much actually appreciate and also, you may say, care for people, yatims and miskeens and widows, and his life, mashallah, has many examples of that. But feelings of that only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows, and then if someone relieves someone, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala obviously blesses them as well, and it's an opportunity. Think the yateems in the world and the poor people are opportunities thrown to you by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that you can make your Jannah and peace easily. So we finish there now. Brother Yasser, inshallah, will do a presentation for on the website, how it is, how the online course can be done. This is very important, because then if anyone you give dawah and you don't know how to, how to convey the message, this is one of the easiest way. You can guide them to website, and then it guides you through, and you can even tick sheets and do fully whatever is in this book. आ जाइए इधर आ जाइए इंशाअल्लाह। अस्तगफिरुल्लाह।
Sorry? Okay, all right. Yes, fine. Alhamdulillah.